Alright, so today we're talking about box and whisker plots. So you see this basic definition here. You got the box and whisker plot that divides a set of data into 4 parts. Each part will be 25% of the data. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. And divides the parts using the median and the quartiles. And so the box is drawn around the quartile values, and the whiskers extend from each quartile to the extreme data point. So that's kind of a picture of what you're looking at right here for a box and whisker plot. So you see it said a box is drawn around the quartile values. So here are your 2 quartiles, lower quartile and upper quartile. And we'll talk about what that is here in a second. So you draw your box around that. The median's over here in the middle. Remember, median means the middle piece. And the whiskers extend out from the lower quartile to lower extreme and upper quartile to the upper extreme. So we'll talk about how to find some different pieces of information pertaining to a box and whisker plot. So you see I've got an example for you down here. And the first thing you want to do when you get a set of data to try to make a box and whisker will be order the data from least to greatest. So I've already done that for us here, starting with 19, ending with 40. Next thing you're going to do is find the median. And so remember, the median means the middle number. So just take one number off each end. So slice there, another one, another one, another one. So you see you're left with 25 in the middle. So I'll put M for median, representing 25. And so from, the next piece you want to find is the median of the lower half. That's going to be, slide this down a little bit, your lower quartile, so the median of the lower half of the set of data. So what you do is basically cover up this first little part here, and so from the median to the lower half over here, you're going to see you've got 5 numbers, and go back in and find the median of these numbers. So just take one off each side, take one off each side, so you're left with 22 for your lower quartile. Same thing for the upper quartile. Upper quartile will be the median of the upper half. So I'm going to cover up these numbers here, and then go back in and find the median of these numbers. Just take one off each side, one off each side, so you're left with 34 in the middle there. So 34 would be your upper quartile. Now, when it comes to finding the now, when it says find the extreme values, that's easy. The lower extreme is just the lowest number of the group, so that's going to be 19, and the upper extreme is just the biggest number of the group, which would be 40. So that's easy to find that stuff there, easy peasy. If you wanted to go back in and find the inner quartile range. So the inner quartile range is just talking about finding the difference between the upper quartile and lower quartile. So remember we talked about the upper quartile being 34, lower quartile being 22, so you subtract those two to give you your interquartile range. Now, down here if you're trying to create this box and whisker, you see you go back in and place the different pieces that we found over here at these points. So lower extreme was 19, then you had lower quartile was 22, median was 25, upper quartile was 34, upper extreme was 40. So you place your points and make the box around the quartiles. Median's in the middle here with this line coming through it. This whisker gets your lower extreme and lower quartile. This whisker, upper extreme, upper quartile. Now each one of these pieces represents 25% of the data. Sometimes that's hard to comprehend because if you think each piece is 25%, you would think all these would be equal amounts. In other words, equal sizes down here. But what you need to think about with that is if you have this set of data, basically you're saying the amount of numbers from here to here is equal. Same thing from here to here. So the same amount of data sets in each one of these pieces. So if you come up here and look at our original list, same amount of data pieces in this point, same amount of data pieces in this point, same amount of data pieces in this point, same amount of data pieces in this point. So it's 25%, 25%, 25%, 25%. So that's something else to remember when it comes to box and whisker plots. And that concludes our discussion on box and whisker.